the FIA World Endurance Championship. Following the regulations of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the World Endurance Championship, known as the WEC, has become one of the most respected racing series in the world in only 2 years. The reasons for its success are as simple as they are numerous. GT race cars wheel-to-wheel with Le Mans prototypes, amateur drivers next to professionals, petrol engines up against diesel engines, hybrid concepts competing with conventional drive systems. All that carried out on 8 of the most spectacular racetracks in the world, spread out over 4 continents, a unique combination in automotive racing.
The WEC, the full championship of the endurance all around the world, is the base stage to make the demonstration of the top technology for race car. There is everywhere more and more fans, more and more spectators, more and more media, more and more interest. And this World Championship is growing up. And we have to say that the quality of the paddock, the quality of the grid, the quality of the top team, especially on the LMP1 hybrid system, it helps a lot for the interest of the world.
Porsche entered the World Endurance Championship in 2014. The manufacturer from Zuffenhausen sent 2 LMP1 race cars into the race against Toyota and the 2-time championship winner Audi. So the duel for the LMP1 crown became a 3-way battle in which each manufacturer would deploy its own vehicle concept. Audi once again started the season with its turbocharged V6 diesel engine, while Toyota entered its 8-cylinder petrol engine, and Porsche its 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. And each manufacturer went their own way with the hybrid systems as well. Porsche stored the energy gained around the track in its batteries, Toyota over the condensers, and Audi used the flywheel generator. Despite the choice of technology, the rules regulated a maximum amount of energy to maintain a level playing field between the different vehicle concepts.
It's a huge step forward technologically speaking. The concept of taking the amount of energy which a car uses in a lap, I find it's really stimulating and a big challenge for the manufacturers. That's the way I see it. It's not how many liters of fuel you have to do a lap, it's how much energy you will use during the lap, being it the energy which you transport or the energy which the driver has through the car to generate to do the lap.
Efficiency was in demand, and so the manufacturers started the season in different hybrid engine power classes depending on their engine model. The teams had already faced each other for an official test drive at the Paul Ricard high-tech test track near Côte d'Azur, even before the actual start of the 2014 FIA WEC season. Even though none of the teams laid all their cards on the table, it was already clear ahead of time how highly competitive the season would be, although some people tended to underplay the start of the season.
I think for us is to survive. A little bit nervous about because, it's normal that people expect Porsche to do everything absolutely perfect and exceptionally well because that's what the brand is associated with. But we are racing and, we might make some small errors here and there.
Next to the newly arrived Porsche drivers, including former Formula One driver Mark Webber, there weren't many changes in the driver lineups of the established teams for the opening race of the season at Silverstone in England. The only change for Audi was Lucas de Grassi taking over Alan McNish's place in the reigning World Championship car because the Scot retired from race car driving after winning the 2013 World Championship.
I look at the number 1 on the front of the car with a tremendous amount of pride. A little piece of my heart still in that car, there's no question. But I don't need to give Lucas any advice.
Once again, the home of British motor racing, the renowned Silverstone circuit opened its gates to welcome the WEC for the first race of the season in typical British fashion. It was declared a wet race right from the start, and there were continuous battles for position during the 6-hour race. Both Audi R18 e-tron Quattro race cars were in the heat of the action at the beginning, but ultimately they didn't have much luck in the end.
around through the field. So it made it really exciting, and I had a lot of fun in the car battling with them. And obviously, when you take the lead and you do the fastest lap, it means we have a good car, and it's a satisfaction. But then things start to go wrong.
Heavy rains were responsible for a lot of slides and collisions, and Audi wasn't spared. Though both drivers were unharmed, the manufacturer from Ingolstadt closed its pit doors at 4:15 p.m. local time, ending the opening race of the season shortly after its midpoint. Toyota had an excellent start to the season with a 1-2 victory ahead of Porsche, and entered the second race of the season in Belgium, leading in the Drivers' and Manufacturers' Championship ranking. The Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. The course of the track is unique in motorsports, and it's not known around the world as the Ardennes roller coaster for nothing. The classic Belgian track is traditionally presented at the obligatory grid walk.
It was always a very important race for the preparation of Le Mans. So we have to use it to the maximum. We had a tough week behind us to prepare the cars, but this gave a lot of motivation to everybody, and we're looking forward to a great race here.
After a qualifying with constantly changing weather conditions, the cars entered an extremely turbulent 6-hour race. The manufacturer from Ingolstadt entered a third car to its roster for this race, just as it would for the next race in Le Mans. The Ardennes roller coaster illustrated the power of the LMP1 race cars this year, and offered the countless fans overtaking maneuvers and continuous action at Spa-Francorchamps. Ultimately, the team of Buemi, Davidson, and Lapierre also won the Le Mans dress rehearsal and extended their lead in the Drivers' Championship ranking. The reigning world champions Loic Duval and Tom Christensen, together with their teammate Lucas de Grassi, impressively came in second place and re-entered the battle for the championship title, and showed that they were well prepared to successfully defend last year's win at Le Mans. Le Mans, the most famous and prestigious endurance race in the world. Once again, the French town attracted thousands of motorsports enthusiasts to experience the unique atmosphere and scores of VIPs both on and off the track.
The myth of Le Mans is just that this race is nothing you can compare with all the other races all around the world. The 24 Hours of Le Mans is definitely the nirvana, the topics of the season for the WEC, because this event is the legendary event of the endurance.
It was obvious that Porsche would be the center of attention as the Le Mans record holder returned after a 16-year break. And Audi, the dominating force of the classic endurance race over the past decade and a half, with last year's winning car driven by Loic Duval and Le Mans 9-time record winner Tom Christensen, were also in the spotlight. But the world champion and defending champion started the 82nd edition of the classic 24-hour race with a heavy burden. Loic Duval crashed in the free practice session, but much to the relief of all the drivers, he was able to climb out of his car unharmed. Just like Mike Rockenfeller and Alan McNish's severe and unforgettable 2011 Le Mans crashes. Thanks to advanced engineering, all these accidents had relatively good outcomes.